This is the Satin Lounge. Storyteller, a track from tonight's special guest joining us for Pillow Talk. She is a poet with a message, a rapper with a cause, a lyricist with a song. She's shared stages with Janelle Monae, Jay Holiday, and Dwelé, to name a few, and she seems to have made it a life's mission to bring the world together in peace. She's here with a story to tell. Satin Lounge, please help me welcome indie artist YaNi. Welcome, YaNi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. We're so happy to have you here. I love your message. Your name means peace. Is that right?
Yes, it does. YaNi means peace, and so that's the one I decided to run with, just so people know what I'm all about, what I'm trying to do, my purpose, and pretty much what I was created for.
Is that your birth name?
My full name is actually Ayana, and growing up, people always called me Yana, YaNi, variations of my full name, and so that's how kind of got to YaNi. Stuff, formed the band YaNi and the Peace People, and we've just been going from there.
To deliver the message of peace. Now,
yes.
Can you define what peace means?
Well, I guess for me, peace is an internal thing. Peace is having this unshakable joy inside despite outside factors. Life could be going completely wrong, but on the inside, you know that in the end, everything's going to be okay.
Right.
Peace is what allows us to love one another. Peace is goodness, it's light, it's positivity. That's what peace is to me.
Peace is that thing that surpasses all understanding.
Exactly.
That's
that
right.
was a peace moment right
That
there.
was a peace moment. YaNi is peace, and she's here in the Satin Lounge to bring it to you. You have such a sexy swagger about you, from your mohawk afro to those pretty hazel eyes over there. You seem to exude a confidence. Where does this fearlessness come from?
Fearlessness. Well, I guess as a child, I've just always had to present myself before people, always had to speak before people, no matter where I was, whether it was in school, whether it was in church, whether it was at a performance. And so after so many years of presenting myself to the world, it's almost second nature to me. Makes sense to me. And now I'm used to it. My first manager said to me back in high school, he said, "You're an artist, and it's time for you to start acting like one." And I carry that with me.
Well, you're a very unique artist. You mentioned standing before people in church. I was interested to read more about the fact that you're a PK. So am I, by the way.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I read that you would recite poems adjacent to your father in the pulpit. Has your religious upbringing influenced you artistically?
It sure has. I mean, my dad was always calling on me to do something. Speak, read a scripture.
Yes.
Write a poem. I need you to talk about this. Tell people about this experience you had this week.
Yes.
And so that has been a major influence in the formation of my music. I think it's important for me to present a positive message and an inspirational message.
Yes.
One that isn't seen, I suppose, in the mainstream as much as it could be.
Right.
So much of that responsibility were placed into me as a child, and I'm thankful for my father's guidance and his example.
Yes.
Because, it showed me that it's important to get the message out.
Right.
It's important to reach the people.
You know what I find beautiful about your story is it sounds like you had a relatively positive experience with expressing yourself creatively. You never had any challenges with, your family embracing your sexuality and your career and secular music, quote unquote, or you never had any challenges with that?
Well, I think you take the good with the bad in all circumstances and in all relationships. And so at this point, and I think what I learned at an early age is that it's not necessarily about religion. It's more so about knowing who you are and having this deep understanding of what it is to live a purposeful life.
Yes.
And so there were some issues and some bumps in the road along the way. But one thing my dad always said was lead the people in love. And so that's one
beautiful.
thing that we practice in my family. I try to practice in my own life. I try to share that message of love, of unity, of oneness, and that's void of religion, and that's void of the darkness that I may have experienced as a child, and void of the ups and the downs. Is this unifying notion of love?
Absolutely. So. I totally can relate to that message of love. I create love. You have the ability to do that in the space in which you live. It's your responsibility, as a matter of fact, to be a prism for those kinds of attributes, love and peace. And I think that's relative to any religion. I think it's kind of feel like we're spiritual individuals having a human experience, more or less.
We are. Yeah, and that's one thing that connects all of us, the spirit inside of us. And that's why it's important to treat other people kindly and in a good way, because they are you. They're a reflection of you.
Exactly.
So when you hurt them and when you damage them, you are in fact damaging yourself.
We are one, absolutely.
Yeah, we are.
Well, that makes more sense to me when I looked at the name of your band, I believe it is. Who are the Peace People?
The Peace People. Well, who the Peace People are, I guess it's twofold. We have the Peace People Band, who are my group of musicians who tour the country with me, who have my back, who are the banner wavers, flag bearers, message carriers along with me.
Okay.
Then we also have Peace People, in the larger context, who are the people who support the movement, the people who get involved, the people who come to the shows, the people who are engaged and out doing the work of being peace people in the world.
Wow.
Peace people look like you and me.
Okay.
Peace people come in any age, any shape, any color. Peace people are the ones pushing the peace movement forward, who are out helping others. They're feeding the homeless, helping the sick, treating their neighbor right. Those are the Peace People.
It's a movement, as you mentioned before. That's beautiful. I love, again, your message in your music and lyric. Speaking of your music, I was reading on what kind of music do you produce with the Peace People, and I read it.